All right, hello, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua Dickey. I'll be reading from my book, A Patriot's Journey, Forging Hope, Volume 1. Yesterday, for those of you who listened to the poems I read, one was called Mistakes and the other one was called Gus. Both of them so near and dear to me. First off, because I make a lot of mistakes. So that's why that one is. And then the second one, Gus, when I make these mistakes, I had one person I would confide in and always go to, um, and Gus was that dude. I would ask him something, and um, he would always have a way of putting it so where I can understand it, and uh, and because of that, it's a definitely not only developed as a stronger friendship, but brotherhood, almost like a father son type um, relationship we had, and it's like no matter what I was going through, I could just call him up and be like, "Hey, dude, this is what I'm doing," and I know that he wouldn't judge me based off my actions I'm doing. I mean, he would say, "Yeah, I'm stupid, and I should probably use my head more, and uh, I'll probably be pushing around the Humvee some more because of muscle memory." He was real big on making me remember through my muscles. Um, but he would also, you know, lift me up and help me to just see by thinking myself, not telling me the answer because that would make life too easy. He wanted me to think on my own, and because he knew that I'm this young dad, young in the military, just with all these choices I'm going to make, I have to learn how to figure them out on my own, and so I'm really grateful that I had that opportunity to just spend as much time as I did with him and learn everything I could from him, which I'm always learning. So, um, all right. So now I'm gonna continue on with our poem reading. The first poem actually is called "Dad," and it says, "Hey, Dad, why is your first stop never at us? I am not bringing this up to make a fuss. It's just easy to notice the priority of the TV. It's normal families. This would never be. Maybe if I was smarter, funnier, and not a bore, you might want to pay attention to me just a little more. Oh, great, you're up and starting to yell, scream, and be mad. I don't know what you're yelling at me. I didn't do anything bad. I worked hard to ride my bike alone, even in the rain. I said, Dad, come watch me. But then you started to complain. Great, I guess you're too loud again for his hearing. We're sent to our rooms as we start tearing. My dad says he hears everything now. It's an evil curse. We can't play around him, only it makes us feel worse. My dad never acted this way before all the wars. I think something terrible happened to him. Honest horrors. I wish things would go back to when we were happy. I'm saying it quietly so things will stop going so crappy. My mom says that he yells because of his mental issues. I guess that's why she's stocking up on piles of the tissues. I know my dad loves me. He says it all the time. In that same breath, he tells me not to whine. He really does love us, this I know, for his best is still yet to show. So basically, what happened is I'd come home from work every single day and tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I need like 10 minutes just to just decompress. Um, I just need to get my mind straight, come home and just do my thing. And Tara was really accommodating to that. She's like, okay, cool. But my little kids didn't see that. They just wanted their dad. And so they would run, dad, 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 dad. And it was like, and I should be the most happiest person that your little kids want you to hug you. And I rush the door and, um, all I want is just hugs, kisses, tell them that you love them and they missed you throughout the day. But that was just, I guess, too much for me. But I would still greet them. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't just walk through and face mush them and be like, yo, get my way. I did walk in and I'd just say, okay, yeah, go play now, and they would just want to be around me though, but I would still be, shooing them away. And then Um, and of course, first thing I do is I'd sit down and turn on the TV. And, you know, now the TV's taking priority over everything. It's my escape. It's no matter how bad of a time I was having mentally or uh, physically or whatever, I can escape my own reality just by living through the TV and pretending I was one of those characters. Because that's how I was feeling emotions. Um, but my family didn't understand that because they just wanted me. And at times, I'd sit on the couch and my little ones would sit next to me, and then I'd start feeling trapped, and I'd start pushing them over a little bit by little bit, and then they try to scoot over on top of me again, and then another one would jump on top of me, and it's just like these are the moments that are like the most purest joy and full of love, and these are the moments I couldn't take. It just it was crazy how my brain just did not want to just feel crowded or just hear loud noises or just be distracted from like anything other than what I was doing. And it was because of those little things. When Kennedy told me, she was probably 4.5 years old, almost 5, and she was just like, "What's Dad care? He just wants to watch TV anyways. He doesn't want nothing to do with us." And I heard that, and it just broke my heart. And that's when the depression started. It's like, because I came to the realization that um, it's not affecting just me. All my actions are affecting now my little children as well. And I needed to stop that. I needed to break the cycle, and I needed to try to nip it in the bud before it really began. Um, but I couldn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I give 100% to everything that I do, and there'll be good days and bad days. But in moments I couldn't do stuff, I just try to leave because I just did not want to see any of them suffer or have to deal with me behaving poorly and being a horrible example to them. It just wasn't right, and I just didn't want them around. All right, the next poem is called "Use Your Head." It says, "I just started to start in college. It's my first day. I'm feeling anxiety, nervous, and sick. I don't want to stay. Students are giving intros. I'm still looking around the room. I was just contemplating my impending doom. I stood up quick and said, I have kids about your age. Then sat down and pretended to turn the page. Okay, one class down, 3 more to go. Even though I was a mess, it didn't show. I go to my wife and say, school stuff is just crazy. She's just like, stop making excuses and being so lazy. I was trying to weasel out before even giving it a fair shot. I also say I was sick when I know I really was not. I learned in life, take it one step at a time, count some numbers, or say a rhyme. When I focus on something, it will get better. I just have to stay positive and be clever. I tell my wife I owe her more than I could ever pay. I will try to make it up for the best life so she'll stay. It seems like school could be a good start. It means I have to focus and do my part. So back to school, I decided to go to college, and it was a community college by my house. Um, but at this point, I already had a bachelor's degree in history. I already had 2 associate degrees, information management technology, and one in general studies. That I was trying to finish another degree in early childhood education with a specialization in special education. And so it wasn't like I was just trying to go back to school for the first time. This is I was already experienced, and all of a sudden that first day I go there, my anxiety is so bad. I was throwing up on the way to school. Uh, Literally, I was like all of a sudden feeling super sick. I pulled my motorcycle over, boom, puke alongside the road. Keep going a little further, puke again. And I'm like, what the? I just don't understand what's going on, man. Like this, not to bash community college, but that's all it was. It was a community college. I knew it was going to be fairly easy for me because I've already graduated a couple of universities like Wesleyan Baptist, and I was going to the University of Oklahoma. So I really wasn't nervous about going to Central Arizona College. But my body just didn't know it, and it just kept puking. And I get there, and I see all these 17, 18-year-old kids, and I'm just looking at them. I'm like, geez. My daughter is 16 years old, and I'm looking at these 17-year-olds and giving introductions, and then all of a sudden they start talking about expected throughout the year, and then I just get overwhelmed. I was like, oh man, how am I ever gonna do any of this? This is just the first class. I got like 3 more to go. So I come home and Tara just looks at me. She's like, hey, how was your day? And I was like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm done. I don't even want. I could drop all classes and be good and just not go. And she's like, you're really gonna drop all 3 classes, or correction, all 4 classes already on your first day? I was like, Tara, you should hear what they're saying. Man, it doesn't sound like I can handle this. And she just kind of looks at me funny, and she's just like, why are you talking yourself out before you even started? Like, why is your self confidence so low that you don't think you can do it? And I think that's one of the another problems that having this PTS or PTSD or whatever people want to call it is it destroys your confidence levels. I used to be so confident. I was probably borderline arrogant that I used to just think I could do nothing wrong and I could just any point in time, man, just do me and I'm always gonna do good. I don't even care, man. I don't even have to try for nothing. I'll just do it. And then as I've had problems, even the simplest of things turned into a confidence destroyer. I don't care what it was. It could be something simple. Like I took a diesel technology class and all we had to do was undo some bolts. And I'm just looking around and I'm like, oh crap. Like getting nervous, just undoing some bolts. Like something isn't right. Like, but you have to figure out what it is. I think I was just afraid of making mistakes. I was afraid of taking risks. I was afraid of just not being prepared because the what gave me this messed up thing is because I was caught being complacent. Straight up, my fault. Should have never handled things the way that I did. I should have never took that combat cameraman out with me, and for a lack of a better term, just showing off, all of our gear and all the cool things we could do and bring to the party, and then all of a sudden, here comes a little RPG, woo! And now my whole life got turned to crap, and I still like mentally I couldn't even fathom. Like I told him, hey, this is this, but then yet my brain couldn't wrap around it, and I think that I was just paying for it, and I'm still trying to figure out how to get better dealing with it. So don't give up. Always try your best. Learn from me, and don't give up. Till tomorrow.